What's up, guys, and welcome to episode number 38. Take on New York Sports. Anthony Heaton here with you. It is Monday, February 28th, D-Day, as it's been called because of the whole Major League Baseball lockout, and supposedly today is the deadline. But we'll see. We'll get into that a little later on. First things first. If you guys haven't seen already, I'm partnering with BetUS. It's a sports book, and for all you guys and girls out there that like to get in on the sports betting, if you use my promo code TNY125 and you make a deposit minimum of $50, and you can use your credit card, by the way, for that, they will give you a 125% bonus match. So, I mean, do the math. You deposit $100. They're going to deposit 125 for you. So, it's definitely worth it, guys. Quick payouts and everything with them. I know a lot of other sports books out there do not accept credit cards for deposits, but BetUS does. So, if that's a way for you to get in and get going, then, again, use my promo code TNY125. All right. Let me just get Ava in here. Where is she?
Can you hear me?
Oh, I could hear you now. Yep.
Okay.
What's up?
Nothing. Just trying to keep up with the meetings.
World?
What?
Anything going on in the sports world?
They just said Manfred left the second one after like 20 minutes.
All right, well, he's a clown anyway, so listen.
He said we're working on it.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Well, you should have been working on it months ago. Anywho, we're going to start with NHL today. Kind of give baseball a little more time, not like anything's going to happen, but all right, 2 losses in a row. Your initial thoughts?
That we suck? No, but...
Okay.
That our top 6 needs another... Hold on.
Yeah, hold on is right, because I lost you there. I heard top 6 needs another... Blah, 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 blah.
Another winger. That's not named Dryden Hunt.
Right. Dryden Hunt, there's no way the kid should be on a top 6 forward spot. Obviously, Kako's out for a bit.
Yeah, he's in a hard cast. They saw him in a hard cast.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah. Laugh is, he's working his way into, a consistent top 6 spot, which is what we expect when we draft him number 1.
Of course.
Right. So if you're talking, you're going to keep the top line of Mika, Kreider, and Laugh. Then the big question mark without Kako there, and again, is he a top 6 forward right now? Even if he was there?
Yes, because Dryden Hunt isn't.
Well, okay, but there's obviously better options out there, but obviously Strome, Panarin, and question mark, and you hear names floated around. JT Miller, no, thank you. Philip Forsberg, yes, but that doesn't make sense really to me. For Nashville,
I don't think Nashville's going to end up trading him.
Right, they're there in the mix. They're in a weird
situation.
Yeah.
Because his contract's up at the end of the year.
Right. They're in the top wildcard spot right now, but only 3 points ahead of Dallas, Edmonton, and then 5 points ahead of the Ducks. So it's, I don't know, it's a tough spot for them, like you said, because they're, not running away with a playoff spot, and they're not completely out of it, so they're right on the bubble.
Which puts them in a very awkward situation.
Yeah, especially with him, like you said, and if his contract's coming up at the end of the year,
they might not have a choice.
But yeah, JT Miller is going to take way too much. And again, I'm reading all these things today. It's like, oh, well, look what he did. He came back to the Garden, 2 assists or whatever. Like, okay.
Okay, every former Ranger does that against us. Brett Howden does that against us. Are we going to trade for Brett Howden?
Right, exactly. And I don't,
I've heard some not great things about JT Miller and that he's not a great guy in the locker room. And let's just say we just got rid of a locker room cancer. Let's not bring in another one.
Right. I'm with you. And again, like I said, I'm not a big JT Miller guy anyway. Yeah, he was nice, when he was here, but again, we traded him away. He's gone. That's it. Um, you know, Giroux is interesting to me.
Mm. I
You
don't think
know,
Philly's gonna trade him to us though.
well, that's the big thing is that are they going to trade in the division?
Probably not.
And are they going to trade to us? Now, I know the name that you want to hear come
Ah,
is
Ricard Raquel.
right. Now, with them falling further and further out of a playoff spot, obviously that becomes more of a possibility.
I love that I get to talk about the Ducks now.
What?
I like that I get to talk about the Ducks right now.
Yeah. What's the deal with his contract status though? Do we know?
His contract is expiring after this year. They were looking to trade him
Okay.
last season, and nothing just ended up getting done. They were in talks with, I believe, the Penguins last year, and now the
Right.
Penguins are back in the mix this year. And
Yeah.
Ricard Raquel is a guy I think would flourish with us. I think he fits right into this lineup, and I really think he would work well with some of the guys we have here.
Right.
And he's always been a guy that's been underrated because he's in Anaheim. No one
Right.
talks about Ricard Raquel, but he's insane.
All right. Now I got a question. From New York Style 24, whoever that may be. What about Hurdle? How would we feel about that?
I would rather. He's a center, correct?
He is.
I would rather go for a winger first.
All right. So, okay, my question to you is, I'm good with Hurdle. I like him.
But then again, there are centers
Right.
that play both wing and.
See, you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say if Heaton's not going to be traded, which what the hell is going on?
They're definitely have a trade in place. They definitely do. There's no reason to keep McKegg in this lineup over Philip Heaton.
I know. Listen, and I love me some Greg McKegg. All right, I love me some Greg McKegg, but there's I can't even. There's probably an unlimited amount of players that should be playing instead of him. I get
you might
that.
as well bring up Johnny Brodzinski, who just signed his 2-year extension.
New deal for Brodzinski, but McKegg hustles his ass off. Okay, 100%. You can't take
not
that
his
away from
fault.
him.
He's that bad.
Right. He's not a skilled player. And again, okay, as a fourth liner, okay, of course you're not going to be as skilled, but when you got him centering the third line or, playing on the third line, period.
He was on the wing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's where the issue comes in because, like this guy said about Hurdle. Okay. If we get Hurdle, say he becomes our third line center. Heaton, if he's still here, obviously can play the wing. So does he move up to the second line and play with Strome and Panarin? Or when
I think
Kakko comes back,
realistically, if we're getting Hurdle, Strome is going out.
I don't know.
I think Strome would be in that deal if contract talks go south and it doesn't look like they're going to reach an agreement.
Right.
Because right now they're apparently far apart.
Right. That's the only reason why he would be gone because we have obviously, a buttload of cap space at the trade deadline. But if, like you said, if there's no talk of an extension or it's not going to happen and they know that, then
you're going to have to.
Right. You obviously move him to get some for him at least. Right. Georgiev's gone. And again, this isn't just about
Georgie.
What'd you say?
I said, see you in Edmonton, Georgie.
Yeah. And again, it's not, what happened this last game. You can't blame everything on him, but our defense was awful. I get it, but Igor's going to play 90% of the games. He should be playing more like 95% of the games, but again, you got to get something for Georgie. I don't know what you're going to get for him, but
I think Edmonton needs a goalie so bad that we could probably get them to overpay.
What, with like a McDavid or a Draisaitl maybe?
Not quite.
Yeah,
or
but
at least more than a couple picks. You know what I mean?
Listen, he'd be a solid goalie for a lot of teams. Maybe he's not going to be this world beater, but he'll be a solid goalie. He's had some really good games with us.
Listen, he's a starter. He's not a backup.
Right, he's going to start in a bunch of spots. He is. The problem is, he's playing behind probably the Vezina Trophy winner. You know what I mean?
Maybe the Hart winner.
Right. And, he's in a really bad spot. And again, it's, as a hockey player, especially a goalie, you want to play every single game. And he's,
And he's
he's not
expressed that
even going to
he's
split
upset.
time here. So he's just, he's gone.
Well, this is my whole thing, is that he gets traded, right?
Yeah.
Then, okay, let's say we trade him to Edmonton. Do we not risk having to bring up Keith Kincaid and trade for Grice? Because that's not going to cost much. Because he's not even playing there.
The only reason I trade for Grice is if we have to play Detroit again, because apparently we can't score on him.
Or I really don't want to bring Keith Kincaid up. That's my whole thing. I don't want him back.
Do not talk smack about Keith
Kincaid. I'm going to talk smack about Keith Kincaid because you know what? He's been liking tweets and liking Instagram posts saying how he's so much better than Georgie, which is like kind of a jerk move. We all freak out on Georgie for a fist bump, and we're ignoring Keith Kincaid.
All right. Well, he's definitely not better than Georgie.
He's not better than anyone in the NHL.
Right. But again, God forbid, obviously, and hopefully it doesn't happen, but if Igor went down, that would be the only reason why we need a top-tier goalie.
Which is why I think we should trade for Grice. New York
Style 24 chimes in again. Kincaid is not an NHL caliber goalie.
Correct. He's a clown.
But what I'm saying is, if what's Igor now? 26.
I believe.
Right, he's 25 or 26. So. Right. But he, like I said, if you're going to commit to him playing, 70 games a year, 60 something games a year, I understand you want to have a solid backup, but you don't need to go out and.
But Kincaid's not even a solid backup. That's my issue.
No, I understand that, but again, like you said, Grice. I don't want to hear Marc-Andre Fleury.
Marc-Andre Fleury's not going to be a backup. That's the thing. That's what they don't get.
Right, but
we're not going to trade for Marc-Andre Fleury to have him sit on the bench. Husker got his chance. Sorry.
Well, he just said that. What about Husker getting a chance?
Yeah, Husker got his chance. I want to give Tyler Wall a chance, though.
Right, but the issue, too, with Husker is you want him to play a lot. You want him to develop even more. Mm-hmm. And, again, whoever comes here, you need a solid veteran that understands his role and, that, listen, you're going to play a few times throughout the year or, down the stretch, you're going to get 1 or 2 games. That's really all it is.
Maybe Steve Valiquette should be our backup.
Listen.
He should come out of retirement.
Valley could still lace him up, I'm sure.
I'm sure he could. He could still do the splits.
But I don't know. It's, Husker and Wall, they got to play. They got to play a lot.
Wall is better than Husker, though. That's my thing.
Well, all right. Well, again, they can't come up here and be a backup just to sit and watch. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Watching Igor is great and you could learn a lot. But again, yes, I love Gallant as well, but his lineup decisions are questionable.
Ooh, I actually talked about this yesterday. I think, well, okay, obviously the decision to keep McKagan over Heaton, that's 100% not solely coming from Gerard Gallant. I promise you that.
Right, of course.
There's no way this man is sitting there logically thinking, I'm going to play Greg McKegg over Philip Heaton. I do think...
But he has to get traded then. Because if not, what in God's name, what's the reason?
That's what I think. I think there's a trade in place and they're keeping him healthy.
It's got to be.
I think...
But, I mean, how
many
many days is it going to linger? Usually when they sit somebody, they sit him for a game and then, the trade is announced.
Zook was sat for like 3 games when he was traded.
I mean, that's the only logical explanation because if there's not a trade in place... that's a bigger issue here.
Yeah. I think the only issue I really have had with Gallant is the fact that we'll be down a goal with 2 minutes left and he puts Ryan Reeves on the ice.
Well,
and I get the idea of it. I really do. I get you want one more kind of spark, and that's what your fourth line gives you is a spark, but not with 2 minutes left in the game.
Right. I think that's cutting it a little close. 2 and change, closer to 3 minutes. If you want to give them that second to last shift, to get kind of, like you said, the energy and the spark. And then those last 2 minutes, you got to ride out with your top 5, or top 6, I should say, if you pull in the goalie.
Yeah.
Yeah, down 2, and he put Rio and Hunt out
I
there.
I
Yeah,
honestly think that was just because the guys just had a shift right before.
yeah. Again, it's just you gotta realize clock management and all that. That usually doesn't come into play too much in hockey, but it's more of a football thing, obviously, maybe basketball. But
Hmm.
you have to you got to realize, you know what I mean. And again, get that energy line out there, get them going. But you got to have those last 2 minutes. Your top 6 guys out there, and they got to go balls to the wall for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But
And they have to
it wouldn't
shoot
have
the
made a difference
puck and
anyway.
not
It's
just
just
pass it around.
yeah. I mean, and now we get
Don't forget when he put Kevin Rooney out in overtime instead of Lafreniere.
Kevin Rooney.
The Runesta.
I've heard of him.
I have too.
Oh, we got
I
a
met
hot
him.
take here. Laffy should replace Strome on the first power play.
I think he's right. I think you're
Hmm.
right. I think you're right. I agree. I think Strome, because okay, obviously I have my issues with Strome because the guy only likes to score goals when the goalie is in the net. But I think giving Laffy that chance and letting him work with the top power play unit, letting him work with Panarin, which obviously he doesn't get to work with,
Mm.
would be beneficial to him. And look at it this way. The second power play unit usually sees 30 seconds of the power play, if that. Sometimes they don't come
Right.
on
It
until like
depends.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, it usually depends on when the puck gets cleared or when there's a stoppage. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So if you
Yeah. I
want
mean, I'm
Lafreniere
not
to be
opposed to that for
producing,
sure. I mean, right.
no,
He's the number 1 pick for a reason, and you know, I have no issue putting him out there. So at that point, you're going to have Mika, Kreider, Laugh, Panarin, and Fox.
Fox.
I'm
I
good with
think,
that.
well, because this is my whole thing, is I've listened to Senators fans say how Stützle's so much better than Laugh because he has this many points, but that's because Stützle's on their first power play unit. Laugh sees 30 seconds of a power play max, and he leads the league. He's like 5th in the league or something in 5-on-5 points or goals or whatever in like a calendar year.
Well, there's also no
Like
one else on
he's
Ottawa.
good. That's a good point. You love Stützle.
Stützle. What a
But
stupid name.
I think putting Laugh on the first power play unit would also get his stats up, which is something people love to complain about, and also people have been talking lately. There's always someone every game, and Vince Mercogliano's replies, Laugh stolen assists is
Yeah.
a stat because
Well,
this man sets up everyone and no
yeah, he
one
does.
finishes for
You
him.
know what a big thing is too, I think, is that when we have the power play and we're in the offensive zone, you got Mika out there to take the face off, and what happens if he gets kicked out of the circle? Who takes the face off then? Strome at least
Kreider.
is another center.
Kreider
You know what I
usually
mean?
does.
I know, but what I'm saying is I think that's a big reason too why Strome is out there.
I don't give a crap about face-offs. We
Well,
lose them
that's
all
the thing. I
anyway.
mean, you got to win the face off to control the puck. You know what I mean?
Okay, but say they win the face-off, they clear it, and then Shesterkin just makes an outlet pass, and we're fine.
Do I think Kako plays with Strome and Panarin when he comes back?
Yes,
Yes, unless
unless we trade for someone.
unless we make a big trade.
Like if we get Forsberg, he's playing the top 6. I don't think Forsberg is a right wing, but he can play. We will make
Listen,
him
he's
play
going
the
to play
right.
wherever we tell him, and he's going to shave that damn mustache.
No, I love his
No,
mustache. If
no,
he shaves his mustache, he's kicked off the team.
no, absolutely not. He gets the captaincy if he shaves off his mustache.
No, we're waiting because they have to name Trouba captain.
What, before or after he gets traded?
You're a jerk.
I'm just saying.
No, that's another thing. People are obsessed with the idea of Trouba being traded lately. It's so weird. That's like all anyone's talking about. Oh, well, when
Right.
Trouba's no movement clause is up, he's gonna get traded.
But is it all people that you know and like to bust your chops?
No, it's random
all right.
people.
All right.
They don't like, and see, they probably do know who I am, and they are doing it because they know I'll see it, and it'll piss me off.
Why, you like Trouba? You like Trouba or something?
How'd you guess?
I don't know. Oh, because you gave me a whole giant presentation on why I should get you. What was that? His
Sweatshirt.
Jacob Trouba worn sweatshirt.
His sweatshirt, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Bottom line is the Blues are coming into town, right? They're coming
And
in on Wednesday.
did you
Yeah.
see? Did you see? Do you see? Buchnevich is 2 goals away from his 100th.
Well, once he gets the Hattie on Wednesday,
You can't write the script better.
that's gonna put him over the top.
He's 100% scoring too, because at least.
Hold on, are they playing before then?
No,
They don't play tonight. Yeah,
he's 100% getting his 100th
they
against
don't
us.
play
It's
tomorrow.
written
And
in the
come on again,
stars.
stupid TNT tomorrow. For the love of God.
I like TNT better than ESPN.
Yeah, but again, it's not Sam Rosen, and
The ESPN broadcast sucks.
it's brutal. But he is definitely getting his 100th. Yeah.
See, you can't write it better.
Yeah, I just, just because we're New York and we're the Rangers and we're good and everything, it's like, Jesus Christ, we got to suffer by getting all these nationally televised games.
God forbid everyone likes us.
But it's just,
We're popular.
Come on.
Take it as a compliment.
Come on. It's the same thing with the Yankees, ESPN camera angles give me a headache
It does.
as well.
No, exactly.
It's the worst. I know they try to get it from like the top, and it's like, it just looks like you're in a bubble, and Jesus, just please, come on.
It looks like we're flying around the building. It's so funny.
Just listen. Just get the guys in the chair and the swivel chairs that go back and forth and zoom in and
Those
out.
are my best friends. Remember, I was fangirling over the guy who did the goalie introductions, the goalie matchups.
Oh, yeah.
We sat right behind him.
Yes, we did. We were right behind him. Yep. We probably could have asked him, like, yo, let's get a little bit of action here on this camera,
Yeah, right.
What? I went to school for it. I know how they work. I do. I'd be all over the place, though. I'd be like, Wah! You know what I mean?
I can't follow the puck.
Well, you can barely see, so what do you expect?
Okay, moving on.
Moving on.
I would like to wish a happy belated birthday.
To me?
No, to Jacob Trouba and Barclay Goodrow. No, don't sigh at me. They did not have a very good birthday, though.
Is that that girl that you know? She met Goudreau?
Yes, that's Alexis.
Yeah, she seemed pretty over the moon about it.
She was excited. That's her favorite player. Him and Strome. I said
Goudreau is slowly becoming one of my favorites.
I don't love the contract for the money right now.
Whatever. Listen, again, we talk about this all the time. We don't give the contracts. They are what they are. Just produce.
Believe me, I talk about that all the time.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, just produce,
And he's doing good, and I think he's doing underratedly good.
Right, and that's the thing. He doesn't always show up on the stat sheets, but he does the little things, and he'll score a big goal when you really need it.
Yeah,
he doesn't score a ton of them, but he definitely
scored the game-tying goal at the game I went to.
Yeah, he scores. He scores enough big goals where it's and again, once the playoffs come around, he's got that playoff experience. So
yeah, not many people have that. Who has playoff experience on our team right now? Goudreau, Reeves, Kreider. Nemeth, actually. Nemeth does.
I mean, do you want to count the play-in in the bubble? You know what I mean?
No. No, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
We literally didn't. We scored 3 goals all 3 games?
Yeah. Yes, and Hunt definitely needs to get out of the top 6.
Hunt shouldn't even be on this roster.
He's lucky to be on. Right, he's lucky to be top 9.
But the worst part is there are 4 guys that they'll remove before Hunt.
Listen, I'm good with a 4th line of Hunt, Rooney, and Reeves.
Yeah, that should have been our first red flag when Arizona didn't want him.
Yeah. Yep.
Listen, I think they need to work on scoring goals and playing like a hockey team before the last 10 minutes of the game.
Right. Would you take Giroux though if the price is right?
That depends on what the price is, because your Price is Right might be different than mine.
Yeah.
I don't really want him. I don't love him. I don't love him, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's no other options and Philly wants to trade him to us, sure. Doesn't mean I'm gonna like him though.
Yeah, but agreed with New York Style 24 that I don't think they trade him to us anyway, but
I don't think they're going to trade him, period, honestly. At least not right now. Is his contract up at the end of the year?
That's a good question. That is
because if it's not, I don't think they trade him, honestly. Even though they're not winning, he's still good for their younger guys. Like even like defensemen, just like having that veteran presence, it's important. They got a really good young guy in Cam York, and I
Right, but
think
that's the thing. Does he not want to be a part of that? Does
I
he
don't
want to
know. That's the
win?
thing. Has he said it? I think it seems like they're on pretty good terms.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has a no movement clause, right? He's got to.
I would think so. Yeah,
I would imagine so.
I would think so. But
Listen. The top of my list is Ricard Raquel. I want Ricard Raquel.
mm,
I think he fits well with his team. He's very underrated, and he's going to be the cheapest of all our options, except Phil Kessel. But I don't really want Phil Kessel.
what about
Our 50% retained third round pick, Phil Kessel?
Riley Smith?
Can we get Brendan too?
I
I miss him. Actually, he might be hurt.
What about who else? What other name did I see? I saw
Max Domi.
yeah. Did I see Shifley?
Yes, that was more of a fan rumor. I don't know if that's legitimately gonna happen.
Yeah.
But if the price is right, listen,
Right.
you can reunite Trouba with his old bestie.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets are 6 points out of a playoff spot right now with 3 teams ahead of them.
They're very inconsistent. That's the Jets'
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, so I don't know.
They can beat the good teams. They lose to the bad. It's a problem. They're having issues, and it sucks because they have a really good goalie, obviously.
Yeah.
But don't worry, I was told that Neil Pionk is better than Jacob Trouba. So
Neil Pionk, legendary New York Ranger.
Neil, yeah,
My buddy
legendary
met
for
him,
getting
remember?
us Trouba. What?
Remember my buddy met him?
Yeah, I remember. He met Brett Howden too.
Yes, he did. Another goat.
That's more of a flex in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, so what about Lekanen?
Again, if the price is right, if that's what works out, that's what works out. I'm set on my thing that I want Ricard Raquel.
Yes, you are.
That's my guy. That's my guy because no, he's definitely leaving the Ducks. I've accepted that.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's leaving the Ducks, he might as well come to the Rangers.
Yeah, I just, again, I know, we're going to be in the playoffs. We obviously want to
The
bulk
East
up the
is set.
roster.
Listen, the East
We
is
want to
set.
bulk up the roster as best we can, but I also don't want to give up too much for a rental.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I think Ricard Raquel is a good option because the Ducks don't want, they don't want.
Yeah, but isn't his contract up at the end of the year?
Yeah, they're gonna want.
That's what I'm saying. So if
they're gonna want a prospect, honestly, I think we could get Raquel for a pick and like Nils Lundqvist. If you want to give him up, but I don't know if they want to give him up, so you could probably get him for Heaton or Jones or freaking Robertson.
I know we have so much young talent that it's we got to kind of weigh the options back and forth. Like do we do we set ourselves up for the next how many years? Do we go for it this year 100% or it's it's a balancing act. Hey, listen, that's why Jordy gets the big bucks.
I think it puts us in a good situation, but also a tough situation at the same time because we have all these assets that we could use to trade for a team so we can win now. However, we all know what happens when we trade a young guy before they have a chance to reach their peak. They reach their peak somewhere else, and we watch while
What, you don't mean Anthony Duclair, do you?
You can name like JT Miller.
Yeah.
Like you could name a bunch of different people this has happened with, and it sucks, but this is what I'm saying. How about Georgie? We're gonna trade him, and people are like, "Oh, maybe we can get like a couple, a third round pick." And I'm like, "But the Rangers are at the point where they want quality over quantity. They're not gonna take a couple second and third round picks if they can trade it up and get a first round pick."
Yeah, but the bottom line is they're gonna lose Georgie at the end of the year, so they're not in a position to negotiate. They're gonna take whatever they can get for him.
And I think you could probably get a first round pick from Edmonton. They're desperate for a goalie.
A first rounder for Georgie? Oh, I don't know.
If you look at his stats when he plays consistently, he's much better. Every time anyone has gotten hurt and he's had to step into the starter role, he's never let us down.
Yeah, I don't know. But again, we're not in a position of
negotiations.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have the upper hand regardless, but
Yes.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the trade deadline is what, a few weeks away now?
I think it's like the 23rd.
Yeah, 3 weeks or something like that. Yeah. So we'll see.
I think, hold on. It's the 21st.
21st. Yeah. So all right. So 3 weeks. Yeah.
Listen, I might see Philip Forsberg's last game as a Predator, and I'm gonna come home. He's gonna be a Ranger.
Do we have baseball before the trade deadline in the NHL?
Let me check Twitter. Hold
Yeah.
on.
No, unfortunately,
The 14-team postseason is a very big issue at the moment. That's what I'm seeing. And Rob Manfred just saying that they're working on it. Okay, can you work on it a little faster?
all right. So we're transitioning into baseball here. So let's just run with it.
Yes.
I know everybody's annoyed at the owners. I get it. Listen, there's a little bit of fault on both ends, of course, but it's so obvious that it's more on the owners. And
Duh.
now you hear reports of, they're fine missing April, which again, we understand that April is, they have the lowest attendance out of all the months. Obviously, July and August, the kids are off from school and everything. You know what I mean? That's big. So I think in reality, they are okay with missing April. But you also hear that the players are okay with just missing the whole season if the owners are going to be such, I don't know the correct word to use here, but if they're going to be, so hard and stiff on
Stubborn.
their stance. It's obviously there's got to be give and take. That's what a negotiation is, but it just seems like the players are giving so much more than the owners are willing to give.
Well, considering the fact that Rob Manfred didn't show up to a meeting until Thursday.
My biggest issue is why in God's name are you waiting till the week up to spring training to meet every day?
Mm-hmm.
This is what you guys do. It's not like you have other jobs. It's not like this is what you do. You guys should have been at a table or wherever you are in your little, whatever it is in Florida in your rooms going back and forth. You should have been at this from the beginning. It shouldn't have took 42 days from when the lockout started to sit down or to make a proposal. It shouldn't have happened. And again, is it just them bluffing? And tonight or tomorrow morning, we'll hear that, okay, they've made concessions and we're going to have a season starting on time. Or is it really a hard deadline tomorrow that if a deal's not reached, they're canceling the first month of the season?
I don't know. Listen, Noah Syndergaard quote tweeted about Rob Manfred and said, "Bet if you cut off their paychecks until baseball resumes, deal gets done tomorrow."
Of course, yeah. And again, it's
because they're not the ones losing money right now, and
right.
It's
and
not
it's
fair to the players.
Right, and the biggest, the people it hurts the most, obviously, are the fans. And you know how me and you get when it's baseball season. It's the weather starts getting nicer and everything, and you just start getting fired up for everything, and that's what baseball signifies. And another thing that's really annoying is that they technically could be playing spring training right now. They could be playing games right now. But
I could be watching Giancarlo Stanton, but I'm not.
Right. But the owners, obviously, they imposed a lockout. And technically, they could actually play this season under the current CBA.
Really?
So, again, that's another issue I have where you could have just said, you know what, guys, it's 2 weeks away from spring training starting. We're going to have to just agree to disagree over the next year or whatever, and we're going to play with the current CBA, and that's it. But again, there's an agenda there, and again, I know it's always money and power related, but us, the fans, are the ones losing out, and it's just it's a shame, and it sucks.
Yeah, they're just it's I don't even know. I don't even know what, like, I'm mad, I'm frustrated, and it's obvious who's in the wrong, and it's obvious that everyone's frustrated. except Rob Manfred. He seems like there's not a care in the world, which is because he's a power hungry, greedy, bad person. He's a terrible commissioner. Listen,
I don't know.
NHL fans make jokes about Gary Bettman all the time. Gary Bettman is God compared to Rob Manfred.
Yeah. Yep.
It's awful, and like I just
I
want there
don't
to
know.
be a
I'm just,
season.
I wish I had the stones to just not watch baseball anymore after this.
Yeah.
It's just obviously that's not feasible, and I don't know. I mean, it's the only way to make the owners really feel this is to not go to games, not buy tickets and everything. But that's just not. It's not realistic.
It's not realistic because not
And then
everyone can do it.
and then at the same time, you're screwing the hardworking people that work at the concession stands and all that stuff. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
The ticket salespeople. How many freaking people work
yeah.
at Yankee Stadium?
All right. It's just and again, and what happens now to them? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Those people, like it's a lot.
Yeah, it affects everybody. And
They
spring
don't care.
training in Florida and Arizona. How many people go take trips down to Florida, take trips to Arizona to go to the games? They stay in the hotels, they go to restaurants, they do this or that. You know what I mean? It's just all that stuff is lost now. And those are little things that nobody even, thinks about. So it's not just as simple as, we're the owners, you're the players, and that's it. It's there's so much more involved, and it's just a bad situation in general. And I don't know. I mean, can they realistically get a deal done in the next couple of days and still start on time? Sure. Unless the jackass owners are really set on tomorrow being the deadline. And if that's the case, they're going to announce tomorrow, I guess, that, I don't know, the first week of games is canceled or the first month of games.
Do they cancel it or are they going to postpone it?
No, I think they said originally last week that they're going to be canceled and not made up. So because that means the players get a prorated salary, it's less because they didn't play the full season.
Right.
I don't know.
It's just whatever. At least Joey Gallo is on freaking
Joey Gallo, man. I tell you,
now.
besides all his damn strikeouts, I love the guy.
Hey, that's one of his skills.
I know, apparently, yeah.
Striking out, hitting into the shift, and getting dressed weird. Joey hasn't posted lately.
I don't understand how he dresses weird though. What does he put on his pants before his underwear? I don't understand.
No, he made he said he has like a superstition where I think he said he puts on his socks before his pants or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was. Wait, I found it. He lays out his uniform piece by piece in front of his locker before dressing, then undress if the fit wasn't right. Sometimes this would happen more than once before he was ready to take the field. And then this guy was saying, obviously, Gallo is a quirky guy and everyone is entitled to their rituals, but couple these habits with a 160 average as a Yankee with nearly 50% strikeout rate in the only pennant race of his career. Does anyone do background checks over there with the Yankees?
Yeah, I mean, maybe he should have gave up the superstition,
Well, no, he quote tweeted that and said, "Me literally gets dressed. Media. Yep, that's why he sucks."
I remember that actually.
Guy.
Yeah. He's a funny guy. All these athletes, a lot of them are so superstitious. It's like, you hear stories. The guy didn't change his socks for 2 weeks because he was, he had a 10-game hitting streak going or something. And
Henrik Lundqvist was probably one of the most superstitious athletes I've ever watched play.
Yeah.
He would hit I remember he said that before every period, he would hit the boards when he came out with his stick. So first period, hit it once. He said things got complicated when the playoffs went to double overtime.
Oh, I don't know. Let's see what happens tomorrow. I don't know. I have no. I'm not optimistic at all, unfortunately.
I was. And now I'm not.
Yeah, I was a little too when they started meeting every day. Even though we knew they were going to, but
listen, they're also effing with my sports and entertainment class. We were supposed to do a fantasy draft, and we can't do that if they're not going to play.
Yeah. Yep.
On points.
On a side note, though, the NFL seems to be looking into changing the overtime rule. For all
the one that pissed everyone off this year?
Yeah, for all you upset Buffalo Bill fans out there, which, hey, I get,
Hey,
Each
listen, Ryan Strome was tweeting about it.
about each
The
team
overtime
touched the
rule.
ball once, no matter what happens. I'm down for that. You know, I don't know, but any thoughts on the Nets and the James Harden Ben Simmons trade that happened a few weeks ago?
Hold on. No.
No.
Hold on. Sorry. I had a call and then like my earphones like read it to me.
Oh,
What did you say?
I asked you about the James Harden Ben Simmons trade with the Nets and the Sixers. Any
Oh,
take on
I'm
that?
so glad you asked. The Sixers robbed them.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
mean,
grand theft.
yeah, Harden basically played his way out of there. I don't even know why he even was there in the first place. I mean, did he
He
think it
didn't
was
want to
just
be
going to be a
there.
cakewalk to the finals? And
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. But now he's with Joel Embiid and this, in Philadelphia, and they wind up playing. I think we play them. The Knicks play them Wednesday, so that'll
Yay.
be an absolute disaster.
Great. Actually, the Knicks might actually beat them because that's what they do. They beat the good
You're
teams and they
right.
lose to the
You're right. They
crappy
absolutely
teams.
do that. They shock you like that. They make no sense. The Knicks, who are
Or
now
they'll be leading
11
by
games under
50.
500.
Or they'll be leading by 50 at the half and then we'll somehow lose by 20.
Yeah, I mean, they are just.
I think, you know what I think? I think Quentin Grimes is the reason the Rangers lost last night. He was at the game in a Canucks jersey
Yes, he was there.
because of his half brother, Tyler Myers, who scored.
Well, naturally. Yeah, the Knicks right now are sitting 2 points out of that 10 spot, which would be the play-in round. And not
I've
only
given
that,
up.
they're 4.5 games back. So it's just, listen, if they miss the playoffs after, having a productive couple years under Thibodeau, that's, I don't know. I mean, the only positive you look at on this team is RJ Barrett.
He's so and oh, don't hey.
Yeah, Obi's good, but I mean Barrett's he's on
Respect
like
him.
another level right now. He dropped 46 the other
I
night.
know, he's insane.
He's just he's quickly becoming the star that we all thought he could be. And
Yeah, and you know who's not a star? Julius Randle.
Julius Randle.
Obi Toppin should be getting more time than him.
He went from MVP chance one year to, see you later the next year.
Hey, he got paid. That's all he cares
He got
about.
paid. Exactly. All right. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed. We get some good baseball news tonight, tomorrow. I don't know, the next day. Let's just, we got to play 162. Fired up for the Yankees this year. Let's just please, fingers crossed.
Fired up for the Yankees to barely make the playoffs.
Listen, we're supposed to be going to Baltimore in April.
Maybe another cat will run on the field.
To Camden Yards, nice weekend trip. Stupid me to think that would be something we'd be able to do, because I took the game in April.
That's our luck.
Yep.
Fire
Yes, it
alarms
is.
and play places and
All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
whatever.
All right.
I'm done. Maybe Andrew Heaney will rise.
Andrew Heaney.
This is all because Andrew Heaney's not with the Yankees anymore. That's why this happened.
Yeah.
It's because Corey Kluber is a Tampa Bay Ray.
Corey Kluber. The Klubot.
Klubot.
All right. We're going to wrap things up, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Hopefully there'll be some positive news on the baseball front.
Oh, and back and forth. Don Halem and Morgan Sword just headed back. So we carry on.
I mean, at least they're going back and forth. At least they didn't, take a quick right to the parking lot, and that's what we need to see is the players just walk out and get into their cars and leave, and then it's like, okay, well,
nice.
I don't know. I just don't understand how it can be this last second. You know what I mean? Like,
because no one cares. They're trying to get as much as they can, and they don't actually care about anyone but themselves.
All right, I'm going to drive.
At least the minor leaguers are practicing.
Yeah, wonderful. All right. Talk to you later, kid.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up episode 38. Yeah, thanks for listening in. And again, BetUS Sportsbook. Use my promo code TNY125.